Hey, what's up, everybody? Mr. B here, and today is another free workout day. This is something that you can be doing to either warm up, throw right in the middle of a workout if you're doing a couple of different sets, or use as a cool down. So, what we're going to start off with is just our hands on our hips, and we're going to go ahead and do some alternating lunges. I don't ever really think about having a number when I'm doing my lunges or anything else like that. I just try to do an even amount, like make sure to get both sides. But really, this is just going to be a nice, quick little, like I said, a warm up routine for those of us that are just trying to break up the monotony of what it is that we're doing. Because I find that I myself personally um, do the same warm up every time I turn around. Good. Let's do one more on each side. And then from right here, let's go side lunges or cassocks. Me and my wife debate about the name of these movements all the time. She would tell you that it's not a lunge if your feet aren't moving, and that this would technically be a cassock squat. Um, I don't care enough, but I just like calling it a side lunge. It's pretty easy for everybody to remember. Good, good, good. Side to side. Then from right here, we're going to go ahead into some single leg RDLs. So remember, when you're doing your single leg, you're just going to go ahead and kick that foot back, working on that balance a little bit, working on hinging at those hips versus everything else. Making sure to kick that leg back a little bit. Good, good, good. Keep it moving. Nice and easy. One more. Each side. Good, good, good. Now from here, we're just going to go right into heels and toes. I like to do a tibia lift into my calf raise. Not just for the rocking motion, but to be sure that I'm working both sides of my leg at the same time. Just get those legs nice and warm, hips nice and warm. Okay, this is going to be a very lower body focused warm up today. I just did some back squats for my workout today, so I'm feeling pretty darn good in the lower body department. And I just want to keep cruising along with that. So right here, heels and toes. Speaking of squats, wouldn't be a workout without any squats at all. Okay, especially if you're a martial artist, being able to have strong mobile hips and strong quads and hamstrings is essential for your kata practice. So make sure that you guys are nailing these movements every opportunity that you get. Couple more, 5 more, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're going to go into striders. We're going to start moving a little bit more quickly. Make sure those feet are moving forward and backward. Doing what we can to keep those heels off the mat. Very good. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Then from right here, great lines. So cross them up. And the great thing about these shorter warm-ups, you can throw these in, like if you're doing some kata practice and you want to break up your monotony, do your kata 2, 3 times and then throw this in just to kind of keep moving, but to bring the heart rate down a little bit in between each routine. Keep moving. 2, 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now we're going to start to get our adductors a little bit tired. And instead of holding your stretches for too long, I want you to be really dynamic here, really working the inside of those legs. So that way when you're going to stretch, when you're going to do all that other stuff, all the blood is flowing And I always like to do my main static stretches at the end of class, just because the body is warm, the muscles are tired. It's just a really good way to get a little bit more range of motion out of it, but also because those muscles are a little exhausted, you're going to strengthen them in a stretched out position just by doing those movements. Now from right here, we're going to go ahead and sit it back and turn your toes up. Okay, and then we're just going to sit right back on our butt so that we can tap our knee and then push our hips forward. If you're a jiu-jitsu practitioner, this is a really great way to open up your hips and focus on that hip mobility and that hip stability. Okay, just a really, really fantastic way to make sure that your guard retention is good because your hips are strong. And we'll make sure that we get that edited pretty well. Let's do 2 more. Good. And 1 more. Now we'll go ahead and finish up with some core work. I always like my flutter kicks, and I like to stay engaged right here. And the other thing that I really like to focus on is pointing those toes, really moving those legs up and down, focusing again on that range of motion, getting some good movement with those legs. Good, good, good. 3, 2, 1, into grapevines on the floor. Here, just really, again, working that lower abdominal section here. Good, good, good. 3, 2, and 1. Now, we're going to work on our adductors a little bit. Okay, those are what the muscles like. You'll hear a lot of people calling your groin muscles, but they're actually called your adductors. And we're just going to go ahead and lift here. We're going to do 10 on each side. And you want to make sure that you really turn your toes externally. Turn them out so that you look like a silly duck, right? You don't want to keep those toes straight up and down because then you're working a different hip flexor. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then again, this is just really focusing on strengthening that muscle in a stretched position. You can do this a couple of different ways. You don't have to put your hand behind your head. You can keep your hands back here like so. But again, really focus on keeping those toes turned out externally. 3, 2, 1. Good. And then we're going to go ahead and do some egg beaters. And again, if you're a jiu-jitsu guy, this is really great for your guard retention, being able to move at the knee and at the hip, keeping that core strong. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's switch sides. Good. And then we're going to finish with some accordions, about 10 of them. 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, guys. So really quick, easy warm up, really good way to focus on the core. Like I said, if you're doing a kata practice or maybe you're doing a really good bout of conditioning, you can also intersperse this, like I said, throughout the workout to start bringing your heart rate down, similar to doing kind of like wind sprints. Like, you'll go 2, 3, 4 sparring rounds on, and then you can literally do this like 3 or 4 times in between some pretty intense work. Or like I said, I like to do these spaced out in between different sections of kata practice. If you're really enjoying these free videos and different things like that, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to our paid site, MrBMartialArts.com. That just helps us reach more people as we are trying to make everybody's martial arts better. That is our goal. We don't care what style you train. We don't care who you train with. What we really want to do is elevate your game. We want to make everybody better in the sport so that our sport continues to grow. All right, guys, until next time, train hard, fight fast, score first. Asai.